Have you ever felt like you're walking through a fog? You can't see where you're going. You don't even know which way you're facing, and you whisper to yourself, "I'm lost." My dear friends, let me tell you something deep and timeless. Being lost is not life's punishment, it's life's invitation. An invitation to grow, to reflect, and to awaken the compass within you. Have you ever stood at a busy crossing, watching people move in every direction, and suddenly felt that inside you everything is still? You are breathing, you are working, you are smiling, yet somewhere deep within, a quiet voice says, "I don't know where I'm going." That moment can feel heavy, even frightening. But let me gently remind you, feeling lost does not mean your life has no meaning. It simply means you have reached a point where your soul is asking you to grow. The first thing to understand is that being lost is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of awareness. Many people live their entire lives on autopilot, never questioning, never reflecting. You at least have paused, and in that pause lies great power. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" One question makes you a victim of circumstances, the other makes you a student of life. The situation may remain the same, but your inner position changes completely. And when the inside changes, the outside slowly begins to follow. The second thing is to stop walking alone in your mind. When we are confused, we often lock ourselves inside our own thoughts, replaying the same worries again and again. But wisdom is not meant to be discovered in isolation. It flows through conversations, books, experiences, and the stories of people who have stumbled, fallen, and still learn to rise. A single honest conversation with the right person can sometimes do what months of overthinking cannot. Guidance does not make you weak, it makes you wise enough to save time, energy, and unnecessary pain. The third thing is acceptance, not the kind that makes you lazy, but the kind that makes you peaceful. Accept where you are, without hating yourself for it. You don't scold a child for not knowing how to run on the first day of walking. You hold their hand and let them learn step by step. Treat yourself with the same patience. Life is not a race where everyone must reach the same place at the same time. Your journey has its own rhythm. Respect it. Remember, clarity is not something that suddenly falls from the sky. It is built quietly through small decisions made with sincerity. One brave choice today, one honest effort tomorrow, one lesson learned from a mistake. Slowly the fog begins to lift. So if today you feel lost, don't label yourself as broken. Think of yourself as becoming. You are not behind, you are being prepared. Walk gently, listen deeply, and trust that every sincere step is already shaping your direction. Sometimes you don't find the path, you create it by continuing to move forward, even when your hands are shaking and your heart is unsure. And one day, you will look back at this phase and realize this was not the time you were lost. This was the time you were being guided inward, toward who you were always meant to become. When life feels heavy and directionless, the mind starts behaving like a restless room filled with echoes. Every thought bounces back louder than before, and slowly we begin to believe that confusion is our identity. But confusion is only a phase, not a permanent address. It visits to teach us, not to stay forever. The problem is not that we feel lost. The problem is that we assume feeling lost means we are failing. Most people measure their worth by how clear their plans look on paper. But life does not unfold like a neatly written timetable. It unfolds like a handwritten letter, with smudges, corrections, and unexpected pauses. And sometimes, those pauses are not delays, they are protection. They slow us down so that we can notice what we were ignoring while rushing. When uncertainty arrives, the first thing we often do is fight it. We resist the discomfort. We demand instant answers. But wisdom grows in silence, not in panic. If you sit quietly with your questions, they begin to soften. You start realizing that not every problem needs an immediate solution. Some only need patience and perspective. There is a simple shift that changes everything. Stop asking life to be easy and start asking yourself to be strong. Strength does not mean having no doubts. Strength means walking even when doubts are holding your hand. It means showing up when motivation is absent. It means choosing effort over excuses again and again, without needing applause. Another quiet truth is that direction becomes clearer when intention becomes purer. Many times we feel lost not because we lack ability, but because we are chasing approval instead of purpose. We follow paths that impress others but empty us inside. When you realign with what genuinely matters to you, even a small step feels meaningful. And meaning is the seed of clarity. You don't need to redesign your entire life in one night. That pressure itself becomes another burden. Just focus on what is within reach. One habit you can improve, one relationship you can heal, one promise you can keep to yourself. These small acts build self-trust, and self-trust builds direction. It is also important to forgive yourself for past decisions. You chose based on what you knew then, not what you know now. Growth always makes the past look foolish, but that does not make you foolish. It makes you human. Every wrong turn teaches you how to read the map better. So when the road ahead looks unclear, don't curse the darkness. Light a small lamp within. Be kind to your pace. Be loyal to your values. Be patient with your process. The answers you are searching for are not hiding from you. They are slowly forming inside you, shaped by your courage, your consistency, and your willingness to keep going. One day, without dramatic announcements or sudden miracles, you will wake up and realize that the fog is thinner. Your steps are steadier. Your heart is calmer. And you will understand that losing your way was not the end of your story. It was the chapter that taught you how to listen to yourself for the first time. There are moments in life when everything on the outside looks normal, but inside something feels misplaced. You are doing what is expected, saying what is appropriate, smiling when required, yet your heart quietly asks, "Is this really my path?" That question is not a weakness. It is the beginning of wisdom. Only a thinking, growing soul feels restless in comfort. When direction is unclear, we often become impatient with ourselves. We compare our unfinished chapter with someone else's polished story and conclude that we are behind. But life does not run on a single schedule. A seed does not compete with a flower, it simply grows at its own pace. Your season is your season. Respect it. Sometimes feeling lost is life's way of removing noise so you can hear what truly matters. When distractions fade, values speak. You begin to realize that peace is more important than praise, progress more meaningful than popularity, and purpose more fulfilling than applause. These realizations do not arrive with celebration. They arrive quietly, like a soft knock on the door of your heart. One of the greatest mistakes we make during uncertain times is waiting to feel confident before taking action. Confidence is not the ticket to movement. Movement is the ticket to confidence. You walk first, strength follows. You act first, clarity grows. Even a small step taken honestly has more power than a perfect plan never started. You may not control the speed of life, but you always control the direction of your effort. When you choose to act with integrity, patience, and sincerity, your path slowly straightens itself. The world outside may still look unpredictable, but inside, you develop stability, and inner stability becomes the anchor in outer storms. There will be days when doubt returns, when old fears knock again. Do not be surprised. Growth is not a straight line. It curves, it stumbles, it pauses. The real progress is not in never falling, but in learning to rise without losing self-respect. Treat yourself gently in this phase. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who is trying their best. Encouragement works better than criticism. Kindness travels farther than harsh discipline. When you build a peaceful relationship with yourself, decisions become clearer and courage becomes natural. Understand this deeply. Being lost does not mean you have no destination. It means you are being redirected. Some roads close not to punish you, but to protect you from becoming someone you are not meant to be. What feels like delay may actually be alignment. So keep walking, even if slowly. Keep choosing honesty over shortcuts. Keep learning from silence, mistakes, and small victories. One day, you will not suddenly arrive, but you will notice something subtle. You are no longer afraid of the journey. You trust yourself more. You breathe easier. And in that calm confidence, you will realize that the path was never missing. It was unfolding beneath your feet, step by step, exactly when you were ready to walk it. So, my dear friends, when you feel lost, don't panic, don't retreat. Instead, Pause, breathe, and listen to the wisdom inside you. Ask the right questions, seek guidance from every corner, and take one small step forward today. Clarity is not found in confusion. It is found in the courage to keep walking. Because life doesn't ask you to have all the answers. It only asks you to take the next right step. And when you do that, each step becomes your direction, each breath becomes your compass, and each challenge becomes your teacher. Thank you. Go forward with clarity, courage, and purpose.